I'm taking on the entire Van Buren Boys.
Van Buren Boys?
Yeah.
There's a street gang named after President Martin Van Buren?
Oh, yeah, and they're just as mean as he was.
Hello and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name is Vinnie.
My name's Matt.
How's it going?
It's going. What's up?
Oh, I went to the casino on Sunday, won $165. No big deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Congrats.
I won $60. Yeah, I played blackjack. First time I ever won at blackjack.
Was that all in one hand, or?
It was over the course of an hour. My buddy and I went, and we went to. There's a new casino across the bridge in Maryland, and we went. And normally, I'm a really bad gambler. I don't have confidence, and I know the rules of blackjack, but I know there's like certain etiquette you're supposed to subscribe to when you're at a table, and I kind of just played, and I kept winning. So I'm feeling pretty good right now.
You're not the gambler.
Yeah.
Is blackjack your game, or do you like to float around?
Actually, my game of choice is roulette, but my buddy was gonna play blackjack, and I do like blackjack. I just feel like you lose your money so much quicker. Mm-hmm. But I said, what the hell? I'll try it, and sure enough, I had some decent hands.
I like the game blackjack. I'm just not good enough to like help the table out, because I remember once I was in Vegas and I was on the end. Mm-hmm. There's a term for that.
Anchor, maybe?
River?
I don't know. I don't know.
Is there a river involved? Anyway.
That's in, oh God. There's that ignorance coming out again.
I'm at the end, and there's all these other guys at the table, and everyone seems pretty confident. And I forget, I either said hit me or, I'll stay. And everyone started groaning.
Like, you idiot.
Yeah, because they knew what the dealer was going to draw next or something. And I basically everyone over.
That's what I was talking about. There's etiquette that they don't teach you. I know the rules, but anyway, we could talk about it for hours, but this is wrong podcast. But needless to say, look, I had a good time and I liked it.
And you won some money. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So next time, dinner at Monk's on me.
Hey, well, speaking of gambling, I'm going to somehow tie this into the news segment here. Speaking of gambling, we'll come back to that. Recently, Vinny, in the news, I'm sure a lot of our listeners have heard, comedy legend Jerry Lewis passed away. Mm-hmm. I think he was 91 years old. Now, of course, this is a huge loss to comedy, and especially the foundation he had. I think it's Jerry's Kids, right? Mm-hmm. But there's some good news through Jerry Seinfeld's Instagram. Apparently, the Jerrys got in a car and drove around Las Vegas. Hey, see, gambling, it all ties back.
Oh, okay.
Filmed an episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Awesome.
Yeah, so pretty cool news out there. And also a little bit of a preview, I think, for the next season of Comedians in Cars. It's 10th. That's going to premiere on Netflix either, I think, later this year or sometime in 2018. Wow. So something to look forward to.
So that's now at least the second time that Jerry's had a comedian on that recently passed away shortly after appearing on Comedians in Cars.
Yeah, you're right. Gary Shandling being the first.
It's almost it's a living tribute at the time, but it's nice that Jerry has this way of remembering some of his comedic heroes through this show.
Now, I haven't seen all the episodes, but I think Don Rickles was on an episode.
Yep.
And he passed away earlier this year. And, they're still with us, but from that era of comedy, I think Carl Reiner was on an episode.
And Mel Brooks.
And Mel Brooks, right. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's incredible that these, I don't know what they were eating back then, but these guys lived to be well into their 90s,
They eat bacon and eggs every day. Do you think that Jerry Seinfeld brought with him the cufflinks from Cinderfella to show Jerry Lewis as an in?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Jerry! I wonder if that came up at all during their visit, or if it even makes the episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to ask you, are there any other Jerry Lewis references throughout the show?
So I think there's two, right? The one you mentioned, Cinderfella from the Strong Box and the cufflinks and whatnot. But the other episode ties into this week's episode when George left the running tape recorder in his briefcase at the foundation.
Oh, that's not this. That's not this episode.
Well, the foundation is in this episode.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I was like, oh no, did we watch this at the right episode this week?
I'm a little tired. Yes,
Hang on,
you're right.
Let's make sure we watch the same episode this week. What are we talking about, Vinny?
We're discussing, I hope, the 14th episode of season 8, the Van Buren Boys.
Yeah, that's correct. All right.
I asked that with a question in my voice. Written by Darren Henry, directed by Andy Ackerman, and it originally aired February 6th, 1997.
No joke. There was the chance we would have watched the wrong episode this week because we're doing the following week's episode in a few days. So I figured
I do worry about that.
There's some miscommunication, you know. But no, this week it's the Van Buren Boys. Really excited to get to this episode. You know, not really one of my favorites, but definitely an iconic episode. You know, if only for that Van Buren Boys scene with Kramer with the 8 fingers. And, you know, looking up at my bookshelf, we talked about the little Jerry a couple of weeks ago. I've got my Martin Van Buren bobblehead right next to him.
Hey, there he is.
But you mentioned the writer of this week's episode, Darren Henry. This was his first episode. He was a former writer's assistant, and he would go on to write 2 episodes in season 9, The Slicer and The Bookstore. And he also had a hand in, you know, writing the opening segment, I guess, of the Chronicle, which is the clip show that aired before the finale.
Oy.
Wait, what's that all about?
Nothing against him. I just, you know how I feel about clip shows.
Oh, that's right. I thought the Chronicle would have a special place in your heart just because it's like, you know, more of a celebration of the series as a whole. You got that Green Day song, Superman theme, Michael Jackson.
I do like it. It's more just clip shows in general, especially of a show I know and love. I don't need a clip show, but that's fine.
All right.
Kudos to you, Darren Henry.
Well, did you know, Vinny, that Darren Henry had some cameos on Seinfeld?
I did not.
Well, I don't know exactly what he looks like, but based on his IMDb page, he's been in 5 episodes, you know, mainly as a background extra, but he was in the audience at the Jerry taping in the pilot. He's at Monk's in the opposite, I think, when George goes up to talk to Vanessa? No?
Veronica. Hi.
Ooh, yikes.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he also worked as a phone volunteer at PBS in the Pledge Drive. He was in the movie theater or waiting in line in the secretary when Elaine and Jerry exit, and she's like, I can't believe they made what is it? Like the killer, the wife.
The wife, the killer.
And then he's also a juror in the finale.
Ooh, so you know what? We could probably figure out what he looks like by the Pledge Drive and the finale, because there's only so many faces you see as PBS phone volunteers and jurors. So,
and you know, I think Spike Fierstein is also a juror.
Yes, he is.
So we can cross him off the list. And that lady who reads the verdict. I guess all ladies in general.
Ladies.
All right, moving on to a little bit of trivia before we get started here. The Kramer-Peterson storyline inspired the writers to revisit, you know, that relationship later on in the Muffin Tops. And I would think a more memorable one at that with the Peterman reality bus tour.
Yes. Well, there's a nice connection between this episode and that one, because Peterman says, "You're that gangly fellow we bought the stories off of," you know. So there's a callback to this.
What's your name, darling? Yeah, I was gonna say these are like a 2-part episode, but not really. It's really a callback, I guess, in the Muffin Tops.
Yeah.
You know, there's this funny scene in this episode where Kramer talks about buying some Bunyan stories from Newman.
Yes.
They all stink. You know, Newman doesn't even appear in this episode. You know, one of those rare instances where people will either talk about him or even, you know, Kramer shouts his name in that episode, but we never see him. He was supposed to be in the episode. Elaine and Newman had a scene that took place in his apartment where she's like buying stories from him. You know, she's jotting everything down, and like Kramer, they're just horrible stories. But it's a deleted scene, which I think is available on YouTube and the DVDs. Did you get a chance to watch this?
I did. I perused it.
What'd you think?
It's okay. It's nice to have Newman, of course, and anytime we can get him. He's giving these stories, and Elaine's trying to kind of slough him off and say, yeah, we don't need to use them. And then doesn't she create an excuse for Peterman as to why she can't use the stories? Like, oh, he's allergic to beef or pork or something, and then Newman counteracts with, no, these were the opposite. They were pork ribs, something like that.
Yeah, so he's walking around the apartment with a pipe, and Elaine's writing everything down, and he talks about meeting up with this woman, how they ate a bunch of ribs together, and then they came back to his place, ate some chicken wings, and then Newman fell asleep and woke up on a pile of bones.
Okay.
But I guess the joke and kind of a callback is she gives him $8 for the stories. So I guess Newman's selling these stories for $8.
$8 a pop. Well, he knows what they're worth, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, it is kind of cool to see these deleted scenes, even though they might not be all that funny.
Of course. It's extra time with our favorite people. Mm-hmm. I did notice there were a couple lines that were lines or jokes that were cut out of the episode. And at times analyzing these lines, I'm like, oh, I understand why these were cut, because it seems more like filler or just like fluff, So I guess whoever did the editing for this particular show did a pretty good job of getting right down to the meat of it.
Right. And speaking of one of our favorite characters, Elaine, I don't know if you noticed this, but I think this is the start of Julia's pregnancy, like starting to show.
I was going to ask you about that because she is starting to wear the baggier clothes, and her view is a bit obstructed of her belly.
Yeah, I noticed she sits a lot this episode. Mm-hmm. And that's usually like the tactic they used in, was it season 3, I think?
Yeah.
Right. It was like towards the end of season 3, and that's why she's not in the beginning of season 4. But she'd usually be sitting, holding a pillow, I don't know, behind the counter, whatnot. But not only that, but she also has this outfit on that's, she must have worn it before. It's black, but it's more like a suit, and it's kind of baggy. Mm-hmm. And I know she wears it a lot the rest of the season here, where her pregnancy shows more.
Well, even right when we did the comeback last week, we saw a wide shot of her walking down the hallway at Vincent's, and she had her suit on. But this suit is, she wears it like an open jacket, open blouse, and it just looks very baggy, probably to conceal the baby bump.
Right, and I'm glad you noticed that, because I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, what's going on here?
Not crazy.
Well, let's get started, Vinny, with this week's episode. First scene, we're on the street. Jerry and George are waiting for a cab, and Jerry wonders, who was the last president to have a beard?
Nixon.
No, I mean like a real thick beard.
Falkmore.
Who?
Artemis N. Falkmore.
You made that up, didn't you?
Yeah, but it sounds like a president name.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that George is so pleased with himself that he almost fooled Jerry. Mm-hmm. He fooled him, Jerry. But I really do like this cold open. Or at least, actually, we haven't finished it yet. So
we haven't, but right out the gate, it's fun. It feels like old Jerry and George, like making up names. Like, hey, it does sound like one, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But Jerry wonders, why so many presidents have these bad names: Woodrow, Grover, Millard. And George says that, their ambition is based on that personal insecurity. It's classic male overcompensation. And this is pretty funny since he's, wearing lifts in his shoes.
And George walks away kind of hanging his head in shame.
Of course, but can you think of another episode that this connects to?
The betrayal. No, not the betrayal. Is it the betrayal?
Yeah, it's the betrayal, right?
Yeah.
The Timberlands?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I got confused because that's the backwards episode, but we just talked about betrayed. So, okay. Yes.
All right, let's talk about this cold open, though, as a whole. The closest name to Falkmore I could find was Millard Fillmore.
Okay.
One of our presidents. But more interesting is I found a great wiki page that organized exactly what I was looking for: presidents with beards.
Oh.
Because I was going to have to go through all 45 of them. But there weren't as many presidents with beards as you'd think. And I'm talking about not just mutton chops, what's it called when it's everything but the mustache? What's it called?
I don't know. That was like Civil War era, but I don't know what that's called.
I think Lincoln had that, so maybe I am counting that. Anything where the sideburns connect all the way down to the chin, right? Yeah. Lincoln really was the first.
Okay.
I think. He was our 16th, Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th, Rutherford B. Hayes, the 19th, James Garfield, our 20th president, and the last one really to have a full beard during his term was Benjamin Harrison, our 23rd.
Okay. That's amazing that no president since has had a beard or even had facial hair. Any
they've had
mustaches?
facial hair. A lot of mustaches, a lot of mutton chops, like Teddy Roosevelt, for example.
Oh, Teddy.
What do you got on Push Button Mini? But yeah, if you think about like a real, as Jerry put it, like a real thick beard, those are the only 5 presidents, I believe. Now, if we're wrong on that, please let us know. But this is just based off of a wiki page. So.
Maybe Keith Hernandez will call in since I hear he's a history buff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or Civil War buff. Damn, slow today. I can feel it.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about this cold open is that it was written and filmed to be included in the comeback episode, but they decided to have it here in the Van Buren Boys. And it makes a lot more sense to be this cold open, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's weird. The comeback.
My favorite thing about this cold open, though, is how the subject switches from beards to names so effortlessly. Casual conversation, very Seinfeld, just off on a tangent. And, of course, they were trying to arrive at presidential names, but I like that the initial question was beards. I just think that's kind of cool.
And a lot of presidents mentioned this week. So we got Nixon, Woodrow, Grover, and Millard. So I think we're going to get at least 2 more. So we'll keep track. All right. First scene of the episode, we're at a restaurant. It's called De Silvano. Oh. Jerry's out on his first date with a woman named Ellen, and she's telling him about this clock that can count down how much time you have left to live based on like age and risk factors. And Jerry has this funny bit about what you're supposed to be on your deathbed, just counting down.
10, 9, 8. I told you this thing was good.
A lot of the jokes just in the first minute all feel like stand-up, don't they?
They do. You're right.
But Jerry wonders about dessert, and Ellen supposes, I have to get a piece of cake. It is her birthday. And Jerry thinks that's really weird, considering, she never mentioned it. And right on cue, the waitstaff brings out some cake and sings for another table. So,
for she's a jolly good fella. Oh, wrong song. Now, the first thing I noticed with this scene was, I suppose it's my birthday. I think the average person, if not most people, would say, "Oh, happy birthday!" But Jerry just kind of looks at her, tilts the head because he's perplexed by. He already picks up on the awkwardness of this situation.
Yeah, he can't pretend that it's not weird, right?
In the same way that he is vexed by a woman denying pie or a woman wearing the same dress all the time, a woman agreeing or picking a date, the date of her birthday to go on the first date is very weird to him.
Yeah, well, it's odd to me too. Do you feel the same way, or would this be?
Yeah, it's funny because we're going to learn more about Ellen as the episode progresses, and nothing. Of course, the joke is nothing really stands out about her as being weird. Yet everyone around her thinks she's a loser, except for Jerry and Jerry's parents. Right. But this is probably the biggest tell that something is askew.
Right. It might be a little too early for us to give our full diagnosis on Ellen, but
don't be quick to dismiss. You're very quick.
Well, the older I get, like the less excited I get for my birthday. So
same.
Well, do you get excited for your birthday? Like, would you want someone to know and celebrate with you and whatnot?
I mean, with my significant other,
sure.
my friends to go out to dinner, but
if you were single, let's say.
Oh, yeah. If I had a date on my birthday, I'd be happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The socially awkward Ellen is played by Christine Taylor, and I will first always remember her as the modern Marsha Brady in the Brady Bunch movie from, was it the late 90s or early 2000s?
Oh, it was actually earlier than that. It was 95.
Oh, thank you. The mid 90s. Mm-hmm. But she was in Dodgeball, the Zoolander movies. We referenced it a week or two ago. She was Sally Sitwell in Arrested Development. She was in 3 episodes of Curb, playing herself. 3 episodes of Friends. And I only bring that up, Matt, is because her character shaved her head in the Friends episode. So she was a bald woman. So that plays. And she was, I believe, formerly the daughter-in-law of Jerry Stiller, none other than Frank Costanza.
Yeah, she and Ben Stiller were together for quite a while. I think they probably started dating like around this time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense, I think.
They were together. I mean, for the longest time, you always thought they were always thought of them as being together. So
Right.
and this is just recent news that they've broken up.
Sure. Or I think divorced, right? They were married.
Yes.
You know, all those titles you listed there, I've got a title that predates all of those that I grew up with, and it's what I'll always remember her from as Melody from Hey Dude. And I'm sure some of our listeners out there that grew up with Nickelodeon in the early 90s remember that role as well. But
Damn.
yeah, man, there's something about that role. Like, I'll always see that girl working at the Bar None Ranch. So
I always regret when you do the throwback to Nickelodeon, because that was when I didn't have cable growing up. So I missed out.
I'm sorry.
No, I'll live vicariously.
And you know, her boss on that show, Mr. Ernst, we brought up way back in the puffy shirt. He plays the I don't know what he is, but the guy who's running the photo shoot with George and the hand models. Tells him about Ray McKigney.
Oh, that guy, yeah. Nice. Trivia question for you, Matt, and for our listeners at home. Since we didn't play the clip, you said somebody the waitstaff comes out to sing "Happy Birthday" to one of the patrons. What was the name of the I'll say woman who they sung "Happy Birthday" to?
So, Katie?
No.
Amy?
No.
What is it?
Lisa.
It's one of my sister's names. I should have known that. Damn it! All right.
It's okay.
Moving on to Jerry's apartment here. Jerry catches George up on what happened with Ellen.
Is she socially awkward?
No,
Maybe she decided to celebrate her birthday on the Monday after the weekend.
she's not Lincoln.
Huh.
So there you go. President number 4. Kramer slides in and invites the boys to Lorenzo's for a slice. That's the first time Michael does that this episode. I love those noises.
What was the name of? Oh, it was Mario's. Was the pizza joint that Jerry and George used to go to in high school?
Oh, that's a topic. All the pizzerias on Seinfeld. Lorenzo's, Mario's.
Nunzio's. And then what about the calzone place? What was the name of that? Paisanos.
Paisanos.
Okay.
Pequinos.
Ha! Bingos.
Yeah, bingos.
There's a trivia name.
And let's not forget famous original Ray's. Or I'm sorry, just original.
Ray's Pizza. Oh, I like this game.
But Jerry passes on the pizza, and George can't because he has to go down to the foundation to interview high school students for the Susan Ross Scholarship. This is a new thing. And despite George talking over Jerry as he leaves, he's completely fine with the foundation giving away all of the money as long as it doesn't go to George. So this
He's
is kind of
fine, he says. Fine.
this is an old storyline that we haven't seen in a while. The Susan Ross Foundation.
That's right.
We're going to see the board members later on, but when we cut to it this time, it's just George sitting with 4 students individually at that big conference table.
And then I received a 740 on the English achievement test.
Quick, what's your favorite animal?
I don't know. Frog?
Frog?
Well,
Frog is wrong. I see here that you play the harp. Tell me, why do they have to tilt it? Can't you just build it on an angle? Save you a lot of trouble.
Well, the modern-day harp has been refined over thousands of years.
Yeah. We'll let you know. I see your GPA is 4.0.
You like that, don't you?
So, Stephen, I see you're president of the chess club.
State champs.
Who's your favorite chess player?
Measure?
Right. Nice to come. What country is he from again?
I don't know. I made it up. I'm never gonna get this thing.
Whoa. What are you telling me for? You really had me going there. Come on, sit down. What do you want to do when you grow up?
I've been telling people that I'd like to be an architect.
So let's go through each student here. We have
Sure.
student number 1, the guy who got the 740 on his English achievement test, and his favorite animal was a frog.
Frog is
Frog is wrong. Thank you. His name in the script, he's Maurice, and he's played by Dublin James. He was in Sorority Boys and How High. And I really, I think most of us would agree George Costanza's not cut out to be evaluating potential scholarship applicants.
Sure.
But I really like his reasoning of asking a question such as, what's your favorite animal? Because no applicant would anticipate that question coming. Mm-hmm. So you really get their gut reaction, and he's frog. So
Who says frog too, by the way? That's...
Exactly. Yeah. So I like that. And then what else we got? Next is, let me see.
The girl who plays the harp, I think.
Yes. Her in the script, she's known as Lydia, and her name is Yunoka Doyle. And most people will know her from Seventh Heaven. She was also on a couple episodes of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I would say when George is referring to the annoying little overachievers later on in the show, he's referring to, well, among all of them, but
the first two. Well, no, all
the
of
way,
them.
But the way he asks her about the harp, why do you have to tilt it? And she already has her question like canned, like, well, the harp has been refined over thousands of
We'll let you know.
Exactly, yeah. So George is 2 for 2, I think, so far in his evaluation process.
I should know that, how it really does tip back. I was Googling images, and no one's playing it like flat on the ground.
There you go. I'm sure somebody broke the harp barrier. Yeah. And then the student 3, here's an interesting one. He's played by actor David Moscow, but in the script he's known as Lomez Jr. Whoa.
Yeah, that is huge, right?
Yeah, so here we have the son of one of Kramer's never-seen friends, Lomez Jr.
He's the one that's like, you like that, don't you?
Yeah, his GPA is a 4.0. He's got that very loud shirt on. This actor played the young version of, or the young Tom Hanks character in Big.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was young Josh.
Oh, wow. I'm still blown away by that Lomez Jr., though. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Because, actually, we're going to meet another Kramer friend in this episode.
That's right.
So
this guy doesn't have a name, though, unfortunately.
No. Who's
judging by Lomez's son? I don't think I'd like Lomez if I met him. I don't like the cockiness. Is what I'm like.
Yeah, sure.
And then finally, we come across a very modest individual, Stephen Corrin, who is played by Jed Ryan. He was in 2 back-to-back Freddie Prinze Jr. movies, Down to You and Summer Catch.
Those sound like Freddie Prinze Jr. movies.
Yeah, but I really like this character. I really like the actor that plays him. And I think it's a genius stroke on the writer's part to have this, like, semi-younger version of George enter the mix.
It looks just like him, with hair.
Glasses, stockiness. He's got a nice full head of hair, though. And it's so funny how he just he engages George in this lie, and then he gives up right away, which is very un-George-like. So that's the I don't know. No, you really had me going. Can you think of the previous scenario when George spoke under his breath to try and lie through a situation? He gave the name of somebody. Who's your favorite blank? And George.
Oh gosh, I always think of like Fleckman, or like Flavman. That's one that goes around a lot. I'm not sure. He's asked though, "What's your favorite something?"
It actually occurs in The Soulmate when he is asked who his favorite poet is.
Oh wow! Oh my god! And that's in like the same on the same set, pretty much. Mm-hmm. He's sitting where Steven is.
And then this scenario actually reminded me of when he was interviewing for Pendant, or he had met Mr. Lippman. Who do you read?
Oh, I like Mike Lupica.
And there you go. And then he makes up Art Vandelay. So it would have been kind of cool if Stephen Corrin made up. I like John Susie Whatsits.
Speaking of the great character of Stephen Corrin, he is named after one of the Seinfeld writers, which I'm sure we'll get to another one of his episodes down the way. Let's move over to Jerry's apartment. Peterman has asked Elaine to help him ghostwrite his autobiography.
Wow, that's great. When it comes out, I'll have to get someone to ghostread it.
One of my favorite things about Julia's performance is the faces she makes, when she mocks Jerry. Anyways, Kramer enters after his trip to Lorenzo's.
Hey. All right. So there I am at Lorenzo's, loading up my slice at the Fixins' bar. Garlic and whatnot. When I see this guy over at the pizza boxes giving me the stink eye. So I give him the crook eye back, Then I notice that he's not alone. I'm taking on the entire Van Buren Boys.
Van Buren Boys?
Yeah.
There's a street gang named after President Martin Van Buren?
Oh, yeah, and they're just as mean as he was. So I make a move to the door, they block it. So I lunge for the bathroom. I grab the knob. Occupied? And they back me up against the cartoon map of Italy. And all of a sudden, they just stop.
What? What happened?
Because I'm still holding the garlic shaker. Like this. I'm only showing 8 fingers.
Well, what does that mean?
That's their secret sign. See, Van Buren, he was the 8th president. They thought I was a former Van B boy.
Wow. How was the pizza?
I was a little oily.
Just fabulous. I always enjoy anytime Michael gets to tell a story when he gets a really long monologue. I'm thinking this is very reminiscent of the Pinky Toe story.
Yeah, oh, sure.
What other long-winded runs does he get to go on?
Oh, it's so hard. It's hard when the mics are on and we have to come up with it on the spot. But
yeah,
maybe the what do you call it? The JFK thing, sort of.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean the second spitter thing. What about the thing with Bobby Pincus and Steve Gendison? Those guys.
Anyway, I like it.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. This is one of my favorites too, and I think one of the best scenes of the episode. Really, it's a stupid noise, but I'm loading up my slice at the Fixins' bar. Then you go from stink eye to crook eye. It's so wonderful, and I'm just glad Michael gets these moments every once in a while to really just own the scene.
Two things come to mind. You just reminded me as Kramer was loading up his slice. I'm also thinking of another pizza restaurant, or at least a restaurant that serves pizza, Poppy's.
Poppy's.
And I like this little stink eye, crook eye bit because it's going to come back later with FDR. And, hey, another president with the evil eye.
Oh, right. He gave me. Oh, that's the betrayal too.
Oh my goodness. It's another two-parter.
Oh boy! So we first hear about the Van Buren Boys, a street gang named after President Martin Van Buren, our 8th president. And this is pretty memorable, man. I mean, we have a T-shirt of the Van Buren gang symbol. Like I mentioned, the bobblehead. A lot of love for the storyline in this joke, I feel, in the fan community. But
that's true.
I have a trivia question, which I might have thrown your way before. So don't pretend you haven't heard it. Please tell me if I've shared it with you before. But can you name the most recent U.S. president mentioned on Seinfeld?
Ooh,
it's a tough one.
Yeah, is Carter mentioned?
So Carter, to my knowledge, is never mentioned on Seinfeld. I think he might be the only
LBJ.
Right. So there was a president mentioned at the beginning of the episode that served after LBJ or more recently.
Who, Nixon?
Nixon, yes.
It isn't. Okay.
But Nixon is not the right answer.
Oh.
So you're down to Reagan and Ford.
Damn it.
Ford...
Gerald Ford. Oh, mother effer.
No, hang on, though. Okay, so you're saying Ford, right? Ford was my answer as well. I came up with this question for trivia, and I'm like, Gerald Ford. When
Gerald
Kramer
Ford
says,
right out of there.
Yeah, remember that photo of me and Gerald Ford? Got that Ford right out of there. And on my way to trivia, it hit me. There's one other presidential mention, and that is Ronald Reagan. At Morty's, I don't know what it's called, testimonial? in Florida in the pen. Jack Klompus is kind of roasting him, and he's like, a man who slept more times on the job than Ronald Reagan.
Wow. That is an excellent trivia question.
It's tough, right? So
yeah.
You have to know your presidents, and you have to know or remember that episode.
Your Jack Klompus quotes. Mm-hmm. That was a good Klompus impression, by the way, too.
Oh, thank you. Let's move over to, I guess we're on the street here. Ellen stops at a phone booth to check her messages when she spots two of her friends, Melissa and Kim, leaving a cafe. And they meet Jerry, who's with her, and, chat with him while Ellen is on the phone. They commend Jerry for taking her out. It's so nice of you to do this. She really needs it. And Jerry assumes, she's coming off a bad breakup. And the friends just say, no. And then they walk away. It's very frustrating. So Jerry's left perplexed, right? And when Ellen is done with the phone, he asks her, did you get any messages?
Yeah, no one called. Typical.
Sounds like a Kramer line there.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, we meet two of Ellen's friends. The first is Melissa, who's played by Justine Slater. Nothing really on IMDb about her. But the second friend with the curly hair, Kim, is played by Michelle Micah or Micah. Not sure how that's pronounced.
She's the one on the left in the red. Correct.
Yeah, curly hair. She might as well be Seinfeld royalty because she plays the florist in the Curb episode, the Ida Funkhauser Roadside Memorial. She appeared on an episode of It's Like You Know, Peter Melman's show. She appeared on an episode of All Right Already, Carol Leifer's show. And she also married Alec Berg.
She's Mrs. Berg.
She's Mrs. Berg. And she also appeared in a Clerks animated episode, Clerks series.
I like that.
So what a lineup for this gal.
Oh, that's awesome. Very cool. Well, let's move over to Monks here. Jerry is baffled that Ellen's friends made it seem like, going out with her was some charitable act, and George has just a brilliant line here.
So she's the loser of the group. Every group has someone they all make fun of, like us with Elaine.
So we mentioned the clip show, the Chronicle, earlier in the episode, and that's a great setup for this montage of Elaine moments. She's doing like the little kicks, and just all the, the zany stuff she gets up to.
That is a fantastic line, though, because as sad as it is, I do think that is very true, or at least somewhat relatable, that there's like the one person you always make fun of in your group. Not necessarily the loser, but the one that's ripe for poking fun at.
Now, have you ever felt like that guy?
When I'm with you. You know it was coming.
And if it makes you feel better, I was that guy in high school, so...
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm passing it down, unfortunately.
But the whole joke, though, is that George is the loser of this group, and he's, he doesn't realize it because he's scratching his ear.
Yeah, he does that little, ear dig. Ugh, God.
My ear itches. What? How many times has George's ear itched on Seinfeld? Oh, God.
Despite being, superficial as he possibly can, Jerry is going to stick with Ellen. Meanwhile, George catches him up on Stephen Corrin. He's a regular guy. He likes sports, likes TV. Is he smart, though?
He knows how to read. And he knows that finishing an entire book doesn't prove anything.
And just like George pretends to be, Stephen is into architecture. With enough guidance, he's going to be everything George claims to be, only for real. That's his dream, Vinny.
I had a dream last night that the hamburger was eating me.
Okay. Great line to quote. It's a lot of fun, but we are definitely in season 8 here.
Yeah.
With a line like that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with it, and I enjoy this episode for what it is, but there are these moments where I'm like, God, Jerry in any other season would never say that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel.
It's a little hacky.
A little, but still funny, I guess. Basically, we're trying to say, don't complain to us that we hate Seinfeld. We love it.
We do love it. What was I going to say? Doesn't George kind of seem like a proud papa just whenever he speaks of Stephen?
Oh, yeah. Even later, he says Stephen was like a son to him.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
For sure.
There's a quote that was cut where George went on to describe Stephen growing up to be a successful architect with a thick head of hair and a tall, adoring wife. So that must be George's, in addition to his dream, that as well.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, I like the episodes where one of the characters have to, I don't know, either work with a kid or somehow be involved with a kid, like Jerry with Matthew, for swearing, or I guess Kramer and Joey Zanfino.
Exactly.
Does Darren count as a kid?
He's a young intern, yeah. Or Kramer with the kid who was in the hospital.
Oh yeah, Bobby. I always loved that scene because like Bobby's just as strong as Kramer.
Yes.
Well, let's cut over to Peterman's apartment. We haven't seen this place before. Elaine stops by with a notepad and tape recorder. However, the place is not how she or we expected. You want to describe this place, Vinny?
It's very bare, minimalistic, if you will. You see a leather chair. There's a side table, a coffee table, a TV, a bookshelf, and a potted plant. But it's very clean. It's just very empty.
I remember when I first saw this episode, I'm like, oh my God, what a dump. Like, there's nothing there. But the older I get, I'm like, I want to live there.
Oh, this is where it's at.
No clutter. It's like just the essentials. I love it.
Mr. Peterman, thanks for having me over. Your place isn't quite what I imagined.
Oh, it's just a place to flop.
Well, what part of your life do you want to start with? Foreign intrigue? Exotic romance?
Oh, Elaine, we've covered all of that in the catalog ad nauseum. Oh, I would like this book to be about my day-to-day life.
Oh.
Oh, damn, they changed the cable stations again, just when I finally memorized them.
Well, Mr. Peterman, do you want to...
2 CBS.
Get,
3... I don't know what that is. Where's my damn preview channel?
Well, I gotta tell you, Mr. Peterman, I don't know if I see a whole book here.
Well, I'm sure we'll come up with something. What do you say you and I order ourselves a pie? Do you like Lorenzo's?
You know, a friend of mine almost got beat up at that place by the Van Buren Boys.
You don't say.
Yeah. The only thing that saved him is that he accidentally flashed their secret gang sign.
Well, that's pretty exciting. Yeah. Let's put that in the book.
But that didn't happen to you.
Well, so we pay off your friend, and it becomes a Peterman.
No, I really don't think you can do that.
Oh, damn, I forgot to buy plant food again. I bet I got a coupon for it.
You know what? Maybe I better talk to my friend.
This is another clever avenue they went down with the Peterman character because he's this, ravishing stud, well-dressed, well-spoken, very handsome.
Wealthy.
And wealthy as well. He's head of a company. And yet you see where he lives. He's wearing sweatpants, a baggy shirt. He's couponing. He forgot to water his plant. And even in his little home where he plays with his toys, he is still Peterman. I bet I got a coupon for it. And his voice, yes.
It kind of sounds like you think this is Peterman's home. I always thought this was like an extra home he had when he says, it's just a place to flop. Like,
oh, speaking of which, I love that line.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I always thought, that was his apartment in the city. But you're right. Maybe he has this is just a little, maybe he lives outside of the city and this is his place when he comes to work to stay.
Yeah, or if he wants to just escape the... Yeah, I don't know if Peterman really lives like an upscale lifestyle, though, now that you think about it. Because he enjoys traveling and, living in the jungle and whatnot.
I thought that the whole joke was that he lives in such a minimalistic atmosphere, to contrast with his, the reputation he has as this. So I don't know. I always thought it was his home.
Right. And I agree with that. I just thought he had another wealthier place. But yeah, either way it works, right?
Yeah.
Just don't listen to me.
There was a bit of dialogue that was cut out. Elaine said kind of surprised, she said to Peterman, "You don't do this every night, do you? You must go out." And Peterman stretches and says, "I'm a homebody, Elaine. Sue me."
There's always a little bit of Bane in your Peterman impression.
That's right.
No filter.
Thank you.
But let's move over to Monk's here. Jerry is having lunch with Ellen and trying to find, some things wrong with her. What does he go for?
Is that the same outfit you were wearing yesterday?
No, it's brand new. Do you like it?
Actually, yeah. Wait a second. Is that the fork that fell on the floor? Are you using the fork that fell on the floor?
No, the waitress gave me another one.
Oh, guess that's all right.
It kind of seems like he's thinking of old girlfriends here, right? Like, well, the outfit, that ties into the 7, the black and white dress.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, just celebrated an anniversary last week, August 17th, 1992. That's the photo of the girl with Alec Berg.
Happy birthday.
And then the whole, fork that fell on the floor, that reminds me kind of like...
Toothbrush in a toilet bowl?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. We haven't gotten to that one yet, but yes. So Ellen is picking up that something might be wrong, but, Jerry denies it. You're fantastic. And as they get up to pay the bill, they run into George and Kramer, who have a bizarre reaction to Ellen.
George is smiling, but he's like grinning through his teeth because you can tell something's wrong. And Kramer also they appear shaken or just off by meeting this Ellen character.
Right.
And you described it perfectly. They almost are like Bizarro versions of themselves encountering this Ellen character.
Oh, sure. Because usually, it's over the top or, "Hi, how you doing?" Or, "Ooh,
exactly.
Lovely to meet you." Now, Vinny, I love the mystery aspect of this Ellen storyline, but I can't think of a storyline that frustrates me more than this one.
Pray tell.
Well, I just want to know what people see in her, that's wrong. Why is she a loser? Why can Jerry do better? Especially here with Kramer, because I don't think he knows anything about Ellen. And he sees something.
It's a vibe, It's like the Kavorka, but it's the reverse Kavorka.
Oh, okay. Does this frustrate you or not really?
A little bit, because everything you hear about this character is wonderful. It's like, hey, Jerry, you got happiness right there in front of you, and even he is put off by it.
Oh, God, yeah, it drives me crazy.
And especially when we're going to learn more when Morty and Helen sit down with her and they learn about her and they remark about her. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, she's the total package. And yet Jerry, wants to get out and think about this other girl he was with.
All right, let's move over to the foundation. George has the attention of the board and he opens up the door behind him dramatically.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to introduce you to the first Susan Ross Scholar. This is Stephen Corrin. The GPA is a solid 2.0. Right in that meaty part of the curve. Not showing off, not falling behind.
George, the qualifications for this scholarship were supposed to be largely academic.
I'm sure we're all aware of the flaws and biases of standardized tests.
These aren't standardized tests. These are his grades.
Besides, Stephen Corrin has the highest of aspirations. He wants to be an architect.
Is that right?
Actually, maybe I could set my sights a little bit higher.
Stephen, nothing is higher than architect.
I think I'd really like to be a city planner. Why limit myself to one building when I can design a whole city?
Well, that's a good point.
No, it's not.
Well, isn't an architect just an art school dropout with a tilting desk and a big ruler?
It's called a T-square.
The stupidest guy in my fraternity became an architect after he flunked out of dental school. Congratulations, young man. Susan would be very proud of what you're doing.
Thank you.
Hey, look, it's Wink.
Wick?
George. Stacy. But yeah, we get the big Stephen Corrin reveal.
Yes.
And the little schoolboy wave when he...
It's so pathetic when he opens that door and he just is solid 2.0. I use that at trivia a lot whenever, people, they don't do that well, but, they don't crash and burn horribly. So I'm like, you're right in that meaty part of the curve.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
You see the shift in Stephen's ambition, and he starts actually ridiculing architects. And, George does not like that.
But George takes it as an immediate betrayal.
Of course. A lot of betrayal themes in Seinfeld this season. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the line that Wick also added. The stupidest guy in my fraternity became architect after he flunked out of dental school, which is very reminiscent of what do you call a doctor who flunks out of med school?
A dentist.
A dentist. And then even George went to podiatry school. So it seems like the succession of these healthcare jobs is medicine, dentistry, architecture, and then podiatry.
So podiatry is... Oh, hang on a second. What led to the podiatry line?
He's a podiatrist. Or no,
what doctor? He's
even George.
Yeah.
Even George got into podiatry school. Is that why?
Yeah, so it's doctor... I wonder if podiatry could still be above architecture. Because it is still a medical field, right?
Yeah. That's the question, Jimmy.
What about ear, nose, and throat?
Well, we know how George feels about that.
Okay. I'm lumping that in with podiatry then. Let's get over to Peterman's office. Kramer sits down with Elaine and Peterman, wrapping up his story about running into the Van Buren Boys.
Kramer, my friend, that is one ripping good yarn.
And once Kramer gets paid for his story, he offers others, romance, comedy, adventure, erotica. And Peterman wonders, how much would you take for the whole lot?
Name your price, man.
$1,500.
I'll give you half that.
Done. And Elaine is trying to get a word in and say, hey, this is not a good idea, but Peterman's not listening and assigns her to work with Kramer on his life stories.
Some additional dialogue that was cut. Elaine asks to Peterman, how am I supposed to write about your life using his stories? And Peterman responds, simply change the name, Elaine, but keep the magic.
Oh, that's good advice. Easier said than done, I guess.
Yeah. Here's the example that we talked about earlier of Julia, sitting down, wearing the loose, baggy clothing.
Oh, yeah. And later she'll be, when we get back from this act break, she'll be hiding kind of behind Peterman's desk a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So Elaine,
now,
oh yeah.
What do you think about Kramer's stories going for $750?
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you normally pay for the rights to, someone's life, or at least their silence? It's not just the story. It's like you can't say these are your stories. I don't know.
I just like that. Kramer's getting $750 for his stories. Newman's getting $8 and $8 a pop. And then how much does George make for being a gigolo?
Oh God, I don't remember.
$1.
That's right. Yeah, and you wonder too, like, what stories is Kramer sharing? Because he's been up to some pretty crazy hijinks.
That's true.
On Seinfeld, I wonder why or if he's sharing those stories.
And as we discussed earlier, some of his stories they're not about his stories. Never mind. His book, Astonishing Tales of the Sea.
Yeah, that's right.
Those didn't happen to him. He just wrote the book about it.
I don't think he wrote it. I think he just owns it.
Here we go. Maybe when he hopped a steamboat to Sweden.
Sweden. Oh, my God. Yeah, there's a huge story. Military discharge.
Yes.
It's classified. All right, let's cut back to Peterman's office after the act break. Elaine is trying to write down Kramer's stories while he's working on his putting.
Would you please just get on with the stupid Bob Sacamano story?
Okay, well, I'm on the phone with Bob, and I realize right then and there that I need to return this pair of pants. So I'm off to the store.
What happened to Bob Sacamano?
Well, nothing. His part of the story is done. So I'm waiting for the subway. It's not coming, so I decided to hoof it through the tunnel.
All right, well, now that's something.
Well, I don't know if I lost track of time or what, but the next thing I knew...
A train is bearing down on you?
No, I slipped and fell in mud, ruining the very pants I was about to return.
I don't understand. You were wearing the pants you were returning?
Well, I guess I was.
What are you going to wear on the way back?
Elaine, are you listening? I didn't even get there. All right, next story.
All right, I think I've got enough for one day.
Yeah, chew on that.
Yeah, I'll chew on
Oh,
that.
hey, listen, by the way, I'm hosting a little get-together tonight in honor of my little financial upturn.
Oh, thanks. I've got plans.
Yeah, Elaine, You should be there to document it.
Oh, you're getting together with some of your jackass friends? You want me to take notes?
Yeah, but get there after 9. You know, give the people a chance to loosen up.
Can I just say something here real quick? There's a line at the end, towards the end of the scene, that I think goes unnoticed, and it's one of my favorite bits of Seinfeld dialogue, where Kramer, gives Elaine the assignment in the story, and he says, yeah, chew on that. and then
Elaine was mocking. She says, yeah, I'll chew on that.
I love that.
You know what? I was just thinking, this isn't the first time that Elaine was assigned to work with Kramer. Her previous boss, Lippman, also assigned her to work with Kramer on the coffee table book, and she was hating that as well.
Good call.
Because she doesn't respect Kramer.
No, not at all. Or just doesn't want him involved with her career life.
Well, she thinks he's a moron, and yet every idea he seems to bring to the table, wins.
Mm-hmm. Only because her boss thinks it's a good idea, right?
Of course. Well.
Yeah, is she wrong, I guess? Is she wrong both times? Like, it seems like the Peterman book, sells well. The coffee table book, people loved it on Regis and Kathy Lee.
See, these are the ideas you should be coming in with. What do you do around here all day?
All right, let's talk about this Bob Sacamano story. Oh, wait, never mind. His part of the story is done.
There was some deleted dialogue regarding Bob. Kramer says, the thing you want to capture about Bob Sacamano is not so much his humanity, but as a version of salt. So remember what I said earlier about I can tell why some of these lines were cut? This is one of them.
You're not a fan of that?
I'm all for, learning about more what makes Bob Sacamano who he is, but his aversion to salt?
Yeah.
Am I nitpicking here?
No, you just don't care for that for whatever reason.
No, I don't. I don't care for that.
Chew on that. So this story, I think, is beloved, because it's so stupid and pointless. Kramer returning a pair of pants, which, there's a bit of irony to it, I guess. But why the hell is he's walking down the tunnel, the subway tunnel? That would be a cool story, though, if there was, as Elaine mentions later, like some tunnel dwellers, or some mole people that Kramer encounters.
But I gotta say, I agree with Peterman. That is so predictable. And then the story takes a very, unfortunate turn. Yeah, that's what you would expect to happen from all the cliches we've seen in movies. So it is very interesting to turn it on its head and the very pants he was wearing.
Oh my God. There's a great moment at the end of the scene where Kramer, he's putting and he slips on a golf ball.
Oh yeah.
And it is insane how much height he gets, because he slips and both legs go up into the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he just falls to the ground immediately.
Yeah, it's much harder to pull off than it. Michael makes it look so effortless,
right?
What he's doing, but try and fall upward. You can't do it.
And I'm like, does he have padding on? Is there something to support his fall? Because it looks painful, but
I don't think so.
Oh man, all for the craft.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. He's dedicated.
All right, let's cut over to Jerry's apartment here. George feels betrayed by Stephen, so he's going to deny him the scholarship. Just like Frank holding down George, George is going to hold down Stephen, who was like a son to him, as we mentioned earlier. And the phone rings. It's Ellen. She and Jerry are planning to go away for the weekend.
Vermont. Sidebar. Or trivia bar. Who was the last girlfriend that Jerry took to Vermont?
Vanessa, right?
Damn.
That's crazy.
Too good.
He was so against it then, but now he's all for it.
And we all know how it worked out with Vanessa, the separate nozzles for hot and cold.
Right. So Jerry definitely likes Ellen. Do you feel like he's maybe into her more or more excited to do things with her just because everyone else thinks she's a loser? Like either that's bringing them closer together or he's just working harder at...
I don't really know what to make of it, because if we recall with Pam, he wasn't gaga until... He's like, I think I might bail. But he wasn't gaga until Kramer kind of stated all the things he liked about her.
That's true.
But now with Ellen, nobody likes her, but he can't find a flaw.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, but maybe it's like a test, because this is like putting the relationship in a time compressor. So maybe this is his final test before he makes his decision. I don't know.
Right. No, I think at the end of the day, he is trying to find something wrong with her. And maybe Vermont is the test.
Well, keep looking, right?
Yeah. So Jerry wraps things up with her on the phone. And a concerned George marches out the door to get Kramer. And when the two come back, they lock the door, take the phone off the hook, and start the intervention. You want to start?
No, you go ahead. I want to get my thoughts together.
It's kind of scary. Like, Kramer's right there in Jerry's face.
They lock the door, as you said. They take the phone off the hook. You can hear the dial tone. This is serious business. So we already had a little intervention with Jerry's parents regarding his career, and now we're going to have an intervention with his friends regarding his relationship.
Don't forget Richie Appel.
That's true.
Okay, so
who's doing the intervening?
They tell Jerry that the whole Ellen situation has gone far enough. She's a loser. Is it your career? It'll pick up, but Jerry doesn't understand any of this. Ellen is great. His career's fine. And then George and Kramer kind of turn into Helen and Morty here, and they start bickering about Bloomingdale's executive training program.
I remember it.
Kind of, goes off the rails. But Jerry's had enough, and he walks away from the intervention.
So what are you saying? That we're wrong? Everybody's wrong but you?
This is like that Twilight Zone where the guy wakes up, and he's the same, and everybody else is different.
Which one?
They were all like that.
Nice. There's a quality ending to this scene here with that.
Love that quote. That's one of my favorites. Can you think of another Twilight Zone mention on the show?
Ricky, TR6.
That's right. He arrives at the Costanzas. Is that the Twilight Zone you're watching? And if anyone's interested in watching a specific episode where someone wakes up and to him everything is the same, but to everyone else he's the thing that's weird. It's called Person or Persons Unknown, which is a lot of fun. Basically, Vinny, you wake up in bed tomorrow, and Kelly has no idea who you are, and you go to the pharmacy and you don't work there. Everyone there's like, I've never seen you before.
The key, like I go to put the key in, it won't
work.
Jiggle.
Yeah, there's no record of you ever existing, and every bit of memory you have is wrong. So
I really would like to get into those old school Twilight episode. I did it again. Episodes that you love so much.
Oh yeah, it's a great show, man. Did you know I used to watch it in college? Like that's when I fell in love.
Rod Serling was your guy.
Yeah. Those episodes,
and you showed me
man.
a couple of them, but go ahead.
First one aired in '59. So progressive, way ahead of its time. And I loved it when that WGA list came out of the best written TV shows. Sopranos, of course, was number 1, but Seinfeld was second, and Twilight Zone was third. So
wow,
there you go.
That's another show on my list, which I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. And Jerry's comment there, they were all like that. They a lot of them are like that, but I think Rod Serling wrote like more than half of the episodes by himself. So
okay.
I think when that happens, you're going to get a lot of, overlapping themes and plot lines and whatnot. But moving on to that comment that I think Kramer or George brought up, Bloomingdale's executive training program, that was mentioned previously in The Money, right?
That's true. That was what Helen mentioned, and then Kramer kind of piggybacked on it as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And do you notice how Jerry's career and the fact that it's kind of, somewhat going downhill has been a prominent, little arc in season 8?
Yeah, it gets brought up every once in a while in the series, but
yeah,
it's brought up a lot this season.
I like that though. That my career's fine, but I like that, and the fact that it's kind of going on the downswing. I just like that Jerry's making fun of himself here.
You got bumped by a lizard?
Exactly. I also noticed when Jerry says, maybe philanthropy is not your field. Didn't George at one point say he'd be a kick-ass philanthropist?
Very good. Yeah. Not at all.
And I really like George's wardrobe in this scene. He looks very sharp.
Is this the white shirt with the vest?
Yeah, gray slacks and a gray like Argyle or some sort vest with a pattern on it.
Early on in the season, I said that George, I thought, gained some weight. But you said, no, man, Jason is really thin this season.
Yeah, he's stout. Camera loves stoutness.
Maybe he lost weight, yeah, because he looks fantastic in this scene. But let's move over to the next scene here. We're on the street. George leaves the store and is quickly surrounded by a gang of street toughs. These are the Van Buren Boys. One of their newest members, Stephen Corrin, wants to know why his scholarship was taken away. And George, kind of pushes the issue still. Stephen, what about being an architect?
City planner.
So George is getting knocked around a little bit by the Van B Boys.
Yeah, and the gentleman who utters that line as well as kind of clenches his knuckles is played by Tony Collidi. He appears to be the leader of the Van B Boys, and he was in Live Free or Die Hard as well as Bobby.
Another presidential nominee.
Oh, here we go.
Let's cut over to, this is an interesting location, the P&G Cafe and Bar. And I say interesting because we've never seen it on the show, and it's got these really, bright neon lights out front. It was a real bar in the city. It was on like Amsterdam and 73rd Street. It's since closed down, but the interior is very familiar. This is like the go-to bar, from the Improv or with the sniffing accountant, Kramer is surrounded by a ton of his friends. Do you think it's possible that some of them are the elusive Bob Sacamano or Lomez?
No, because I just don't think they would be seen. They'd be heard and not seen.
Right.
Because I think Kramer has more of like a one-on-one with them in behind closed doors versus going out in public with them.
True.
Try the beef because that's real au jus sauce. Real au jus sauce.
So Kramer, starts telling his pants story to the group, and Elaine is quick to tell him that, he can't tell that story anymore since it belongs to Peterman. He sat in mud. Kramer didn't.
But I did sit in mud.
You didn't. You never sat in mud.
I was all dirty.
And the crowd gets restless, so Kramer kind of stumbles over his words and manages to spit out, the pants, they fit well, and so I decided I wasn't going to return them. Which just kills the mood, and the group of friends decides to get going. And Kramer's
getting kind of late.
Yeah, Kramer's left standing there like a jackass when George arrives asking for his help with the Van B Boys. What did you do to get on their good side before? And instead of answering directly, Kramer speaks loud enough, so Elaine hears, I don't have any stories for you. But he adds that the Van B Boys never hassle their own kind.
You mean like a former member? This is so funny because Kramer's put on lockdown. He can't talk about any of his stories in public, but yet he can't even give a hint, a morsel of information to one of his best friends regarding the Van Buren Boys. He's taking, which is kind of essential to his character. He's such a stickler for the rules.
Well, why not just phrase it like, that happened to Peterman, and this is what he did.
Why can't he just say, hey, hold up 8 fingers, you'll be fine?
Yeah, that too. But that's what makes it such a hilarious premise. Let's go back to the friends that were there.
They do say Ramirez has never heard your pants story.
Yes, so
Ramirez must be there.
Corky Ramirez, first mentioned in the what was that? Death Blow.
Yeah,
the little kicks.
Yeah. Kramer
and Corky used to play pachinko, right?
There it is. Now, anybody stick out as being a potential Ramirez?
Yeah, it's the guy. I mean, I can't describe it that well. He's just sitting down in front of Kramer, and he just looks like a regular guy. There's nothing too crazy about him.
All right. The guy who has the speaking line, who says, Ramirez has never heard your pants story. He's played by Steve Hofendahl. Hopefully I pronounced that right. He plays Man. But the interesting thing about him is that he was in Trading Places, one of our favorite movies with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. He plays cellmate number 3.
Oh, and
so I don't know which prison scene he's in or jail scene.
Probably the one with Gus Fring in it. When the two guys are like, yeah,
you was crying like okay. I'm not gonna do that on this show.
God, I love that movie. That would be a good movie to discuss minute by minute.
Yeah, it would.
God almighty, it's such a good one. Well, let's cut over to Jerry's apartment. Elaine is leafing through her notes, and she's like, there's no story here. Look, this is a list of things in his apartment.
Is my toaster oven on there?
I would love to get a look at that list.
Oh, my goodness, you are so right. There's got to be some, fusilli and various macaroni sculptures in there. Also, this seems kind of familiar where Elaine has this problem, and then Jerry gives her a jokey response.
Sure.
I feel like he's done this numerous times with her.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not serious, you know.
Oh,
maybe he is.
Oh, maybe he is, actually. Yeah, you think about it. Weekend. Elaine doesn't know, how she's ever going to turn the notes into a book. And Jerry tries to encourage her here, just shape them, change them. You're a writer.
Yes, I'm a writer.
Make them interesting.
Interesting, of course. People love interesting writing.
So what do you think's going on here? I thought it was just Elaine being stupid. This is like the later season Elaine where she's not too bright, but
not good.
It kind of feels like a commentary on writing in general, and like those weird epiphanies, you get along the way.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. They did that last week with dumbing it down for a bonehead mass audience and writers' rooms. It loses the whole edge of it.
Well, part of me wondered if she's being like sarcastic, like ridiculing Jerry, but I don't think that's just looking at Julia's performance. It doesn't seem like she's being a smart aleck.
I thought it was more Kramer had worn her down because this is now the second time she's had to, get stories for him or in the same way that she had to get the information on the coffee table book. I
like that better than her just being flat out stupid. Like she is worn down. She's just like by all these stupid assignments and whatnot.
With relationships as well as career, I think she's kind of had it with the city and just the predicament she's in. Recall with the Katra when Kramer built her up to run the company. It's the same kind of thing. She's like, yeah, stupid story, a huge markup. I could do that. Where Kramer gave her the confidence then. Now Jerry's kind of giving her the confidence now.
Sure, definitely. I see that. So Jerry is heading to the airport to pick up his parents so they can meet Ellen. He has to see what they think of her. And Elaine is wondering, hey, could we all do dinner later?
I don't think so. I'm going to try and get him to fly right back tonight.
That's horrible.
I would love to have more Morty and Helen. I say stay the weekend.
And, also Elaine asks, weren't they just here? And there's another callback, I guess, to the money. Which, it's weird, it aired 2 weeks prior, but I think it was written right before this episode. So
okay. Still tests.
Well, Kramer bursts through the door and he moves right into some material.
Hey, have I told you about my bunions? Oh, you're going to love this story. So I line up my cold cuts on the couch next to me, but as I'm stacking them, they keep falling into my foot bath.
This is awful. We don't want to hear about this.
Damn. I bought a bunch of bunion stories from Newman, but they all stink.
How much did you pay for them?
$8. Think I'm getting ripped off. Newman!
He storms out the door. I love that story so much. Like, who's sitting on a couch stacking up cold cuts? It's so bizarre. And then
one postal employee Newman.
And falling into a foot bath. It's like, ugh.
And we've seen Newman use his foot bath before, which I like as well.
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
Yeah.
No cold cuts, though. Next scene, let's cut over to Peterman's. After handing in her first draft of the autobiography, Elaine gets called into the big guy's office.
What didn't you like about the first chapter?
Well, it started out nicely. I'm returning some pants. A very identifiable problem. I set off down a train tunnel. But that's where the story takes a most unappealing turn.
Oh, no, that's where it gets interesting. Don't you see that the train is bearing down on you? You dive into a side tunnel, and you run into a whole band of underground tunnel dwellers.
It just seems so cliched and obvious. It's not interesting writing.
Yeah, I know. How about if instead of diving from the train, you slip and fall in some mud and ruin your pants?
The very pants I was returning. That's perfect irony. Elaine, that is interesting writing.
I have a Cosmo Kramer on line 4.
Ha. Peterman here.
Mr. Peterson, you gotta sell me my stories back.
You want to know something? I no longer need them.
No, Mr. Peterman, why don't we keep them as a reference?
Nonsense. I have Bennis's wonderfully imaginative mind to spin my stories. You take back your tales, you vagabond. There you are, Elaine. Go forth and create. And by the way, when you get to that chapter about my romantic escapades, feel free to toss yourself into the mix.
I love that it's become this thing that Kramer tends to get names wrong. We saw it with Bennis, Kitzmiller, Langerhans, and now
Peterman here.
Mr. Peterson. It's sweet.
Yeah, it's fantastic. There's some great lines in this episode. You know, Kramer had some killer dialogue last week. This week, I feel like a lot of it's going to Peterman from, what is it? That's perfect irony, Elaine. That is interesting writing. Or,
when he says that line, I hear like bliminy or something, which I don't know what that is, but I had to watch the subtitles to get perfect irony.
That's perfect bliminy. Yeah, that works.
Thanks.
Bliminy. Also,
what about Peterman lines? Nonsense! I have Bennis's wonderfully imaginative mind to spin my stories. You take back your tales, you vagabond.
Yippee-ki-yay. Yeah, a lot of good Peterman stuff here. I've missed him, you know, since he's been lost in the Burmese jungles. You know, that last line, which is one of my favorites, you know, feel free to toss yourself into the mix. There's some guy in the audience that goes, oh, or I don't know.
Was it Andrew Dice Clay?
Oh, little Miss Muffet.
Hey, where do you keep your hay?
Is that what I think it is? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's
that's
interesting.
That's a deep pull.
Yeah, enjoy. It's interesting that. So
getting the bottom of my water here.
Oh, so somebody sat on the duck, huh? It's interesting that Elaine and Peterman never had a romantic involvement, since like the circumstances under which they met were very romantic. You know, she was crying down the street and he kind of consoled her, and I'm sure she's always thought he was, an attractive man, but they never. And now they're kind of at least teasing it that throw yourself in our romantic mix.
I never got the vibe that Elaine was attracted to Peterman, but he's like that. He's got a creepy side to him with that comment. Also with Susie, where he's like we made love and it was pretty hot or something like that. But Elaine doesn't have a track record of being attracted to her bosses, but she has dated a few coworkers, hasn't she? Mm-hmm. Dick from Pendant.
Dick.
There it is.
Obligatory Dick.
Yeah. And when who else did she date at
the guy who was getting sober? Use your bucket.
That's at Peterman, yeah. And she kind of regretted that. She's like, oh, I have to date this coworker.
She got labeled as the office skank.
Mm-hmm. But if we go back to Pendant, she was with Fred, the religious guy. Jake Jarmel, I think she met through a book deal.
Right.
So, wouldn't put it past her to date a coworker.
Okay.
But let's cut over to the street here. It's at night. George is walking down the sidewalk when the Van B boys materialize from an alley. And Steven wants to know, hey, did you get my scholarship back? And George, pretty confident after talking to Kramer, says, hey, boys, take it easy. You wouldn't want to beat up on one of your own, would you? And the gang does not believe that he was a former Van B boy. So the leader tells him, why don't you flash the sign? And what does this consist of? Did you take any notes on it?
Touch of the ear, swipe of the air, little touch, hit the nose.
That's not the sign.
It was when I was banging.
This is one of my favorite George scenarios to be in, where he's so arrogant. He thinks he's okay, but he hits, oh, boom, twist again. Now you have to show us the sign.
Yes.
Good stuff. So the leader says, George, if you're really one of us, you have to take the wallet of the next guy who walks by.
Or just take a bite.
All right. But before we see what happens there, we cut over to Monk's. Jerry and Ellen are having coffee with Helen and Morty.
And after college, I got my master's at the Sorbonne.
Sorbonne? Oh, hey, that's in Paris.
Oh, Jerry, your parking meter's about to expire. Don't get up, I've got change.
So, what do you think?
Jerry, she is fantastic.
I knew it. I'm not crazy.
She's so sweet. And she's got some body on her.
And smart. Like a computer.
And so much personality, but it doesn't matter what we think. Do you like her?
No, I'm not so sure.
Well, she's 10 times better than that awful Amber girl that you were with.
Yeah, Amber. I wonder if she's back from Vegas.
It's not that funny, but I love that last line. Yeah, Amber. I wonder if she's back from Vegas.
Well, how do you make a girl sound like the complete opposite of Ellen, who seems to be the total package? You know, head screwed on straight. Yeah.
All listeners named Amber, cover your ears.
No, but it's Amber from Vegas and disapproval of Helen Seinfeld. Those are the three things.
Oh, that's right. Okay, good point.
Yeah, sorry, Amber's out there. But Jerry, she's fantastic, and then
she's got some body on her.
Yeah,
a little
smart,
weird,
like a computer.
That's okay. Would your mom ever say that to you about a girl you're dating? Like, oh, nice body.
I don't think so. But the fact that I've seen it in a Seinfeld episode, it's like in my psyche now.
Mm-hmm.
And is it pronounced Sorbonne?
I don't have the best French accent, so no surprise there.
Armoire.
Oh, man. Whenever Liz and I go up to Montreal, you know, she can get by with some French. Mm-hmm. Anytime I attempt, it's just horrible. It's like bonjour, parlez-vous. You know, this kind of got me wondering, do we ever see Helen and Morty at Monk's outside of this episode? I'm going to give you my answer right now. I don't think we do.
Okay.
Prove me wrong.
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because it's at the fancy place when hello Seinfeld.
Right.
When we definitely see the Costanzas there. You're right. The Seinfelds may not appear in Monk's other than now.
You know, we saw the Costanzas at Monk's in that scene when Frank says, "Well, where's that breeze coming from?" I don't know. Just something to think about.
Sure. Chew on it.
Yeah, I'll chew on it. Also, like previous episodes, recent episodes, no freeze frame here. We just kind of fade out, and we return with credits playing. And we're on the street. Apparently, George has failed to mug anyone yet. And the Van B-Boy leader tells him, hey, it's got to be the next one or you're meat. So who's the next one? It's the Seinfelds, who are very happy to see George. And he whispers to Morty, you know, just give me your wallet, and I'll give it back to you later. And either Morty doesn't understand or can't hear. How are folks?
They're trying to pick out a new couch. You don't want to know. Give me your wallet or I'll spill your guts right here on the street.
What did you say?
Hurry up, old man. I'm an animal.
You love this, don't you? Like the sweet side of the Seinfelds.
I love both sides. I love George trying to act tough, hard, and then I like the just how you folks.
Well, Helen thinks George is being, you're very rude, and they walk away. But George, tries to take her purse, begging for their help. And I think Helen just starts whacking on him.
Mm-hmm. Tell your parents we said hi.
So the Seinfelds walk off. The Van B-Boys surround George, and he just puts a finger up in the air before running away. So typical ending for George here.
Mm-hmm. One thing I found difficult to believe in the scene was the Seinfelds would inquire about how the Costanzas are doing. Does that not make a lot of sense since they don't really care for them?
Yeah, that's true.
And it makes sense in this scenario to, George is clearly in duress and they're oblivious or deaf. And how's your folks?
Yeah, but, also, the fact that the Seinfelds can be nice about the Costanzas as long as they don't have to see them,
That's true. They have their buffer zone back.
Right.
What if the writers would have had George holding up the 8 fingers when he, instead of holding up the single finger, and they just decided to turn around and walk away? Okay, you're at a club.
Yeah, what could George have, or, if they're give us your wallet, and maybe George takes out his wallet and just holds it with.
There you go.
The 2 fingers, and then they walk away.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that ending. Why not?
Yeah.
Why the hell not?
So, what do you think?
So, Matt, is this episode smart like a computer or a loser?
Oh, I would never go so far as to call this episode a loser, but it's not smart like a computer either.
Okay.
I I was really looking forward to this episode. This felt like one of those iconic Seinfeld episodes from the series as a whole, with the whole Van Buren Boys, but I didn't really enjoy it all that much on this rewatch.
Mm-hmm.
Just didn't really do it for me, oddly enough. What about you?
I did enjoy it. There were some nice quotable lines, especially from Peterman and Kramer.
Peterson, yeah.
Yeah.
And Kessler.
Him too. Oh, could you imagine? There's a spinoff right there. It was for me. It was among the more enjoyable episodes of season 8. I still have trouble ranking them. I don't know how we're going to do this recap because I don't know where to put any of these things. But this was enjoyable for me. I like the Van Buren Boys storyline. Love seeing Steve and Corin. I don't really have anything negative to say about the episode, but I'm not, busting after seeing it either.
Sure. And again, this episode is 20 years old at this point. We've watched it a lot, so it has that going for it. But so there's something about the Jerry storyline. I love the mystery aspect of it, but I get so frustrated. And also that's an example of, repetitive scenes, just the same thing over and over where something's wrong with Ellen, Jerry can't figure it out. The stuff with Peterman, while I enjoy seeing his apartment and that dialogue, that feels very repetitive. Elaine just sitting there taking notes. George and the Van B Boys. Yeah, I don't know why. Just didn't really do it for me all that much.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, I'm just a little surprised because I always considered this to be one of the most memorable episodes of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, definitely has its moments. All right, sir. That's going to do it for us here on Seincast this week. Please feel free to send us an email at seincast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, or leave us a voicemail at Coco Bosco.
Vinny, what episode do we have next week?
We are discussing the 15th episode of Season 8, The Susie, who was murdered by Jerry Seinfeld.
Not only that, I broke his thumbs.
But for now, I'm Vinny.
I'm Matt.
Signing off.
Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC. It is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and copyright holders.
This is like that Twilight Zone where the guy wakes up and he's the same and everybody else is different.
Which one?
They were all like that.